In this episode, we're going to talk about how promotional products can help add revenue to your business. So let's go ahead and get this started. What is up, gang? It is Monday. It is time for some shop talk. I am running a little behind because I was actually doing a promotional product type job. If you saw the thumbnail, then you'll kind of know what it was I was doing. I was actually installing some floor graphics into a dance studio a few doors down. And so I just thought that would be a good thing to talk about because I believe one of the first things I had talked about when it came to doing our live here, our Shop Talk Live, is doing promotional products. So as some of you guys tune in, we'll talk about where we get ours from, kind of a ballpark figure, how we kind of figure out our pricing and everything. And we'll just kind of take it from there. But I hope y'all had a great week. I know let's see, it was Memorial Day last Monday, so we were off. We had the shop closed. We took the day off, much needed rest, I would say. Shannon isn't going to be on the live, even though she is here. She's a little wiped out from this weekend, from the previous week. We had quite the busy week. I'd say, we had Michelle back in, which is a really great thing. If you've seen any of our vlogs, Michelle is our graphic designer, and she was back for a day. We're going to slowly get her back into the shop more often, and hopefully it will end up turning into a full-time thing for her rather than it being a part-time, because I know she was working here and then her other gig. But we've got a lot of contract screen printing stuff coming up. I kind of feel like we're almost turning into contract screen printing shop a little bit. We're getting quite a bit of work doing the contract screen printing stuff. And we've got some promotional product items that we are working on. So the thumbnail that's in the thumbnail for this video, for this live, that was one job, just got taken care of. We got some door stickers that we're doing for the company across the way for their vehicles. We recently did a 10 by 10 banner for this place called Chrome City that does wheels, inspections, all kinds of accessories for cars, but they also do inspections. And so we did a 10 foot by 10 foot banner for them. And let's see, I'm trying to think what else we've done here lately. More vehicle graphics for doors, and I try to take as many pictures as I can as I'm doing these things, but a lot of times it's like we get on the job site, install it, and then we kind of move on about our business. Occasionally we'll grab some pictures to put up on Instagram or something like that. But I'm going to go over to the chat and see who is all here at the moment. If I can find my pop-out window. Young Mo, what's up, Mo? How you doing, buddy? Ron McDonald, wacky things. I wish you can make me a t-shirt. We can make you a t-shirt. I mean, we're not going to do a one-off t-shirt, but yeah, we'd love to make you some shirts. Have you ever worked with Ulano FX88 emulsions as knockout graphics? I have not. I'll have to go and take a look at what that is. I have not used it, but emulsions tend to be one of a couple, 2 or 3 different types. You got your photopolymer, which exposes really fast, and then your diazo, which exposes a little slower but holds better detail. Matt, what is up? What's up, Matthew Grider? Oscar, what is going on? What's going on with you, Jason Inns? What sad times are you? I know last we had talked, or you had kind of mentioned that you were trying to get out of screen printing, so let us know in the chat. Let us know what's going on. What's up, Brian? Imagination Apparel, what's going on? How y'all doing? How was y'all's weekend? And how is business going for everybody? What's up, Liberty? How you doing? Good to have you, my friend. How's business going over there? Orange Star Wayne, he was telling me that you got a plasma cutter. I know that I may have brought this up before, but have you been putting that to work? What have you been doing with that? I'll have to go over to channel. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to kind of catch up with everybody's channels and see what they're up to. Kind of slow. Yeah, I feel you, man. It's starting to pick back up for us. Like I was mentioning a little earlier, that we've been doing quite a bit of contract screen printing. We got some of our regular clients and whatnot putting orders in. We haven't heard from some of our bigger clients, but you know, as things kind of are slowly getting back to normal, we're definitely seeing a lot more inquiries come in. I know Shannon's been swamped with just getting quotes out, and I literally tomorrow I'm going to be doing a lot of screens for what jobs we do have on our calendar. What's up, Bad Brad? How you doing? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my web browser, and I'll show you guys where I get some of my promotional products from. I know that Vega 23, he uses this website quite a bit. Dave Nell, what's up? Shannon rocking it. Covert Smith, did you guys get the downloads fixed yet? Bought the t-shirt registration template, but download link. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I'll email that over to you, because that we can just attach straight to the email. Or Shannon said that she emailed it. You know, with these web apps, sometimes they just get a little goofy. Knockout Graphics, I'm working with Ulano Dual Cure FX88, an old Ryonet fluorescent exposure unit with new bulbs. I'm having trouble consistently producing halftone screen. If it's, you know, if you got a timer, is that a, let's see, Ryonet, does that have a vacuum tabletop? If not, you know, it could be one of the issues, just making sure you have consistent force all around that screen, just to make sure that light isn't able to travel around those halftones. Aside from that, I mean, if you got new bulbs in it, I'm not quite sure what's going on. If you you might need to expose it longer, or get you an exposure calculator, or you can make your own. Just print out some halftones from a gradient scale from 100% to 0, and that will kind of tell you where you're at. You know, essentially you'll take that and, oh, appreciate that, Knockout. You want to print that out a few times and then expose one section. You can use like a piece of poster board or something like that to cover it up. Expose one section for what you think the time should be. You might want to go under how much you think, and then just kind of step that off and see which one's working best and at, you know, at what exposure time. Nothing yet, but maybe delayed. Let's see what else we got here. I've been good releasing my own social like media. That is awesome. I haven't been able to go over and check out your videos, but I'll go over and check it out here this evening. Once I get a moment to just kind of relax a little bit, make sure we're both fed. Well, I'm going to go over to my web browser, and I'll show you guys where we get some of our promotional products. So like I was mentioning, I just did some floor decals for the Royal Diva dance team, Pantherettes. And it's a place called 4over. 4over.com, and I'll bring up my browser here in a second. Let me just change a couple things real quick on the back end of things. There we go. So this is where I get a lot of my promotional product items, whether it's banners, business cards, decals. If it's not something we can cut on the plotter here, then generally we'll go to 4over, get their pricing for whatever it is our client's looking for. We'll mark it up an X amount of percentage, and then kind of add our time for doing the artwork, preparing it, uploading it to their site and everything. I mean, sure, one of your clients can be like, oh, well, even I was honest with her. I was even honest with her because just everything's kind of running slow these days. Generally, they would give us like a 2 to 4 day turnaround. It took like a week and a half. Just with everything going on, things are a little slower. However, I let her know, like, we outsource it and all that, so we don't have any control over it. But I mean, if your client were to kind of spin that thing where it's like, well, why can't I just go and do it myself? I mean, if they don't know how to set up the artwork, prepare the artwork to put on the 4over, I mean, you could end up uploading something and it not come out right, and you just end up wasting money essentially because you're not very familiar with how to set these things up and prepare files properly. Some of the things that they offer: business cards, all kinds of different types. I'm sure you guys have seen those business cards where they're really thick and then they have the color on the edges. They do those type of things. They do raised printing on business cards. They do all kinds of cool stuff, and they have some pretty good prices on some, I guess, what they call economy type stuff. They do catalogs, brochures, CDs, DVDs, counter cards, door hangers, envelopes, tickets, header cards, hang tags, which could be awesome for screen printing as well. So that might be a great place for you guys to go over and get what you need as far as some tags for your clothing line. If you're starting a clothing line, that's definitely something you could look into. And of course, they do things for hang tags for wine bottles. They do door hangers. Let's see, what else do they have here? Letterheads, menus, plastic cards, table tents. That's pretty awesome. They do table tents. I know that the restaurant business a little slower than it normally is. Let's see what else we got here. Posters, rack cards. I'm going to click on some of these things so you can kind of get a little bit of a preview as to some of the things that they actually do. And we're not affiliated with 4over whatsoever. It's just a company that I like to use. I've found out about this company through the business I worked for. I had like a really slow moment in my screen printing career where I needed to actually find a part-time job, and got Shannon on board, and things picked back up, and I was like, I'm just going to go back into doing my screen printing full-time. But they have all kinds of different types of textures of cards here, business cards and all that. As I had mentioned, postcards and whatnot. And a lot of how you're going to make your money on this really is just selling your design services. So if you're producing these designs, you're charging whatever it is you're going to charge hourly. We charge $50 an hour. Some shops charge more. You might charge less if your overhead isn't as great as ours. But we charge for our design time and then the time we put into setting everything up and making sure we put a bleed on it. So that way, when they do trim these things down to size, you don't have any white edges or anything like that. Calendars, they do calendars. I mean, they do quite a bit of stuff. They even do t-shirts, mugs, that kind of thing. I know a lot of y'all are here because of screen printing and you don't need help with the t-shirt part, but they do DTG essentially. So if you have a client that needs some shirts that require DTG, on a white t-shirt, this is a good place to go. So that's something to look into, and their pricing is generally pretty awesome. And they do mugs as well, which we had an inquiry last week about doing some mugs. So this would be a good place to get it. However, I think we're going to swing that business over to Joe over at Heart and Hustle if we happen to land the gig. And then they do all kinds of signs, your corrugated signs. You know, you have your politicians that tend to order these type things. We've had roofing companies order them. We've had realtors as well order these type of signs. Something they can put in the yard while they're either doing work on site, or once they finished up, they might work out some sort of deal where they can just leave these signs there, and neighbors driving by are like, oh, their roof looks nice. Here's the company that did it. Let's see what else we got here. Envelopes. I'm sure everybody knows what envelopes are. Menus. So they have all kinds of great things. Let me dive into, let's see, they got indoor banners, outdoor banners, some pretty cool stuff. I'm going to dive into my account here real quick, and so that way you can kind of get an idea of some of the pricing and everything what they charge. We do quite a bit of business cards through them, and we even get our own personal business cards through them. But let me go over the business cards. Say we happen to have a client that was just looking for 500 business cards. They just wanted something really inexpensive. You figure it'd probably take you about an hour, 2 hours worth of design time, or might not even take that. It might take you 15 minutes to set the graphic up, or they might have it already. So they have the all-inclusive pricing, which includes shipping and everything to you. 2 by 3.5, your standard business card. You got your orientation, vertical, horizontal, and then your different points. This is where you'll need to have some sort of understanding about different card stocks. 14 points, 14 versus 16 point. It's just the thickness. 14 points is going to be a little thinner. It's going to be more affordable. So let's select that. CS2 just means C2S, excuse me, it just means coating on 2 sides. And then we'll just say matte, because that's probably going to be the least, cost the less really. And then 40, that essentially just means CMYK on one side, nothing on the back. That's going to be the cheapest route for somebody. And then, as I was mentioning, 500. So here's the breakdown of how much 500 cards would be. It's $22.88, and when they say all inclusive, that's plus the cost of shipping to you, which comes down to like 5 cents a card. 100 cards is $17.01. So even if you don't end up using this for adding promotional products to your business, this is even a great place just to get stuff for your own business. However, I do think they prefer that you not just use this for your own personal stuff. It's all for profit. And then up here they have a markup profit percentage. Well, a lot of times we'll mark it up about 25%, and then most of our money is made through actually preparing the graphics. And then it tells you what you should charge over here with your 25% markup. So on something that is 500 business cards, our cost is $22.88. We would charge them $28.60. So they might even come back and place another order, do a reorder. All you got to do is submit the thing, and you make some money off of doing some business cards. It's not the hugest. I mean, you're not gonna, when you're doing something like this, as far as doing promotional products and all that, you're really gonna make your money off of doing the graphics for them and getting paid for your time to do that. Versus, I mean, you'd have to do a lot of sales just uploading art for them. But I mean, that's how we end up just kind of adding to our business as an additional revenue stream for us. So I'm going to go back over to the chat. I just want to share this with you guys again because, again, I was over just right across the way doing some promotional product stuff, which were floor graphics, excuse me. Been a long day. It's been a long weekend too. Isn't that right, Shannon? Shannon grumbled over there on the floor, and look at Apollo. Apollo back there, he's even wiped out. So I'm gonna go back over to the chat and see what you guys are talking about. See if y'all have any questions about this. Let me scroll down here, see what we got. By the way, the X Factor LED came in, and you asked about exposure time, 14 seconds. Says Colbert Smith. Dave Nell, been using them for years. Awesome partner. So there you go, Dave. You have to let us know in the chat everything that you do as far as your service. I know you do graphic design work and more than likely outsource quite a bit of stuff. Forever, they're awesome, says Matt. Yes, they are. They're pretty amazing, using Ulano LX680 and Anatol vacuum exposure unit. But get this, my times are 5.5 minutes on everything except 110 mesh. 110 mesh is 10 minutes. Is that with a, I'm not familiar with the exposure unit that you have, but I know, like with ours, for instance, a fluorescent tube with the Ulano TZ, it takes about 3.5 minutes per screen, but we get some really awesome halftones with it. With all things being said, I mean the best exposure unit for getting halftones is really something with a single light source. But Dave Nell, trade only, always the best to work with. Brian, consistent prints with those exposure times day in, day out. SXIG Host Gaming. I hope I said that right. Hey guys, looking forward to the shirts. We're looking forward to it as well. Don't use Print Place. I take it that's a business and it's called Print Place. If it is, I hadn't heard of them, but I will definitely keep that in mind. Dave, now I use them for postcards, race car hero cards. Matthew Grider, that's the kind of print I got out of. Oh, okay, gotcha. 30 years and I had enough of litho. Yeah, well, you know, the company I used to work for, we did quite a bit of lithograph printing, or I'd have to go and do press checks, and you know, I didn't mind it because I wasn't the actual printer, but I could understand after 30 years doing something, you're probably sick and tired of doing it. Feather Flags 2, Young Mo Productions, I got you on all your embroidery, brother. Yes, thank you, Young Mo. You guys go over and check him out as well. If you need some embroidery or the outsource, if you're looking to add embroidery to your screen printing and you don't have an embroidery machine or can't afford one, like for us, for instance, we do screen printing and whatever we can do with our plotter, and we outsource our embroidery, and we're taking Mo up on his embroidery services. Cool guy, easy to talk to, get along with, and he's started working on some samples for us, so we're looking forward to it. Okay, let's see, I got you on all your embroidery. After this live, need to talk to you if you got time. Mo, if you want to call tomorrow, because we're gonna leave here just as soon as I get off the live, and I'm about to end the live here in a few minutes. I know I got started a little late today. You know, I started at 7:30, and that's because I was still working, getting some things done, but we both need to get something to eat and get a little rest. That way we can get back at it tomorrow and take care of our clients and everything. So All right, well, that looks like it is going to be it today. I appreciate every one of y'all tuning in. I hope this was helpful, and if y'all haven't checked over, go check them out. If you haven't added promotional products to your line of services, it's a great way to make some more money, especially right now during these times. If your screen printing portion of your business is a little slow, I'm sure you've gone to restaurants or just seen, or even grocery stores, your local grocery store. They've been doing banners, signs, floor graphics, so that way, people know how far to stand away from each other with the social distancing and all that stuff. And so you might want to go over and check 4over out, because that could be a way to, I imagine the banner industry right now is just absolutely just slammed. So it's definitely worthwhile looking into, because it would be a great way to essentially bring in more money, to make money. You know what I mean? We all need to make money during these times, and hopefully this will help out. Go over, check it out, sign up for an account. If you have a resale certificate, submit it to them, so that way you can get everything tax-free and you can start making some money. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I really appreciate it. Everybody that's tuned in, y'all stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video. We'll see you at 7 p.m. next Monday. I know things have been a little off with the holiday, and then for us things are kind of at least for Shannon and myself, we're starting to get a little overwhelmed, in which we need to start bringing Michelle back in here. So we'll have a vlog up about that as well in the near future, but we got to get back at it. Need to get some rest. See you guys. See you, Dave, now, and y'all have a good one. Shannon, you want to try and say bye from over there? Shannon says bye. We'll see y'all next time.